At the request of Donald Trump, Texas Republicans are threatening a mid-decade redistricting map. They want to disenfranchise Democratic voters and turn the entire state into a single Republican state, with quite literally zero Democratic representation. People like Jasmine Crockett would lose their seats at the federal level. And Texas Democrats are fighting back. Here's Texas State Representative James Tallarico explaining what they're doing.
State Representative James Tallarico from Texas. If you're seeing this video, my Democratic colleagues and I have just left our beloved state to break quorum and stop Trump's redistricting power grab. Trump told our Republican colleagues to redraw the political maps here in Texas in the middle of the decade to get him 5 more seats and protect his majority in Congress. They're turning our districts into crazy shapes to guarantee the outcome they want in the 2026 elections. If this power grab succeeds, they will hang on to power without any accountability from the voters. But Texas Democrats are fighting back. We're leaving the state, breaking quorum, and preventing Republicans from silencing our voices and rigging the next election. We are not fighting for the Democratic Party. We are fighting for the democratic process, and the stakes could not be higher. We have to take a stand.
So yeah, they've fled the state to break quorum in the state legislature. So they are in Chicago right now. And this act of defiance has MAGA losing their minds. Governor Abbott is threatening to remove them from their seats. He issued this massive statement. He says a lot of whiny nonsense about how dare they defy me. And then he says the truancy ends now. The derelict Democrat House members must return to Texas and be in attendance when the House reconvenes at 3 p.m. on Monday, August 4th, that's today. For any member who fails to do so, I will invoke Texas Attorney General Opinion Number KP0382 to remove the missing Democrats from membership in the Texas House. So he's threatening to remove them from their seats. And Texas Dems responded simply saying, come and take it. The most Texas-ass response to Governor Abbott's threats. And Greg Abbott was on Fox News today complaining even more, threatening that he actually might arrest these Democratic members.
That you put out today to all of them in a letter to them. You said, in addition to abandoning their offices, these legislators may also have committed felonies. What is the felony? What are the penalties for this?
So very simply, it would be bribery if any lawmaker took money to perform or to refuse to perform an act in the legislature. And the reports are these legislators have been both, they sought money and they offered money to skip the vote, to leave the legislature, to take a legislative act. That would be bribery. And so the facts will have to come out. But I think based upon comments made by legislators themselves, they face a possibility of facing bribery charges, which is a second-degree felony in the state of Texas. There's one way to cure that, and that is if they get back to the state of Texas and make quorum today at a hearing that we have at 3 o'clock, they can cure themselves of any quid pro quo that would subject them to potential bribery charges.
Shocking to see Greg Abbott, who literally worships at the feet of Donald Trump, all of a sudden claim to care about bribery. The funny thing is, too, that Republicans have done this before. They did this in my state back in 2019 and again in 2022, I think. But when Republicans flee the state, they do it to block things like funding for schools or carbon tax, which is what they were blocking here in Oregon. When Republicans do it, they're blocking things their constituents actually want. But what's going on in Texas isn't the will of the people. The people aren't clamoring for a totally red state. They're literally only doing this because Donald Trump wants them to. Like, this guy is Christian Collins. He's some youth political activist guy, but he says Texas Democrats fled their duties. They didn't walk out. They walked away from the people. Arrest them. Drag them back. President Trump wants 5 more Republican seats. Texas must deliver. Texas will win. Trump will win. It's all just about what Trump wants. That's all they care about. They don't care that their people don't want this. They don't care that it's absolutely psychotic to gerrymander an entire state in the middle of a decade. Because usually redistricting happens when the census happens, but the census has not happened yet. They literally just want to disenfranchise voters because they know, and Texas knows this better than anybody, that Republicans can't win on their policies alone. They have to cheat. And here's Attorney General of Texas Ken Paxton saying, I support the immediate arrest of those rogue lawmakers who fled their duty. These radical Democrats are spitting in the face of every Texan they swore to represent. This is cowardice and dereliction of duty, and they should face the full force of the law without apology. Here's the thing, though, about Republicans like Ken Paxton. They are hypocrites. This is from 2022. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton fled his home to avoid being served with subpoena, court record says. In an affidavit, a process server said that the state's top attorney tried to evade him as he attempted to deliver a subpoena from an abortion fund's lawsuit against the state. So when you're being sued, Ken Paxton, for being an awful human being, it's fine for you to flee, but when Democratic lawmakers use the only power they have and flee the state to break quorum, you think they should be arrested because they're standing in the way of what the president wants? How pathetic and embarrassing for the free state of Texas. They put this redistricting map together faster than it took them to send aid to those affected by the floods. And what is the MAGA God King doing while all of this is going down? Apparently, he's watching CNN. In just 6 months, I cut costs, especially energy and taxes, tremendously. Why are any of those words capitalized? Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren on CNBC said costs have gone up. She's just angry that I blew up her terrible presidential campaign. Call her out. He's truthed multiple times about Elizabeth Warren on CNBC today. He also sent out this insane screed about Sydney Sweeney. Sydney Sweeney, a registered Republican, has the hottest ad out there. It's for American Eagle, and the jeans are flying off the shelves. Go get 'em, Sydney. On the other side of the ledger, Jaguar did a stupid and seriously woke advertisement that is a total disaster. The CEO just resigned in disgrace, and the company is in absolute turmoil. I have literally no idea what he's talking about. Like, who cares this much about TV commercials? You are the president of the United States. Who wants to buy a Jaguar after looking at that disgraceful ad? The real question, Trump, is who can buy a Jaguar in this economy? Couldn't they have learned a lesson from Bud Light, which went woke and essentially destroyed? Don't worry, there's more. The market cap destruction has been unprecedented, with billions of dollars so foolishly lost. Or just look at woke singer Taylor Swift. Ever since I alerted the world as to what she was by saying on Truth that I can't stand her hate, she was booed out of the Super Bowl and became no longer hot. The tide has seriously turned. Being woke is for losers. Being Republican is what you want to be. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Mr. Trump, you need to calm down. You're being too loud. So just to recap, the entire Texas legislature is crumbling right now because Democrats had to flee the state because Texas Republicans are bowing down to what the president wants, while the president sits at home watching CNBC and tweeting about Sydney Sweeney and Taylor Swift. The Attorney General of Texas and the governor are threatening to arrest Democrats, and they are basically telling them to suck it. Because here's the thing, they either go back and the vote happens and the redistricting happens and they all lose their seats anyway, or they stay away and they fight and potentially stop this from going down, and Abbott removes them from their seats and Ken Paxton tries to arrest them, and then they take the fight to the courts. But this is the kind of fight we need to see from Democrats everywhere. Or be like Governor Newsom in California and just start drawing your own redistricting maps. Either way, I have to go to work, so I will try to keep you posted as this continues. We'll see what happens with Greg Abbott's 3 o'clock deadline.